Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to make a video that I never thought I would be making for any vehicle, and that is our 5-year review of our 2020 Jeep Gladiator Sport S that we bought in August of 2020, actually August 6th to be exact. She started off totally stock off the lot, not a whole lot of frills, and it is now turned into this beast. So I'm going to take you through the current build. I'm not really going to go a whole lot of details into stuff that we've tried and not liked. Most of everything that we put on this thing is still on there, with a few exceptions, and I'll touch on those. And before we get started, I'm not going to sit here and go over every single mod that's on here, because nobody will watch it if I do that. So what I'm going to do is I came up with a list, pretty comprehensive list, and I'm going to put it in the description. So if you want to go and see everything that I've come up with, you're welcome to go down there and see what all the mods are specifically. All right, so as you can see, she's definitely sitting a lot higher than stock. Her current setup is 5-inch Iron Rock off-road coils sitting on Fox Performance Elite 2.5-inch adjustable bypass shocks. You can see the anti-rock sway bars. We have them front and rear. We also have Reid Racing Steering knuckles with Dynatrac Prosteer heavy-duty ball joints. We have Steersmarts, tie rod, drag link, and a JKS track bar. We also have Iron Rock off-road front and rear long arm kit, and that's really helped to smooth out the ride on road. We're running on a set of Toyo Open Country RT 37 by 1250s, and they're on 17-inch Dirty Life beadlock wheels. These are takeoffs, so I can't tell you how many miles are on them, but we've had them on here for about almost a year, and they've performed really well in all the situations that I've been in. And I'll link some of those videos in the description so that you can see I actually do take her off-road. So here in the front, you can see we have the MOPAR steel bumper, which it did not come with. We added that on. We have the Factor 55 fair lead and ultra hook with the rope guard, which this is really handy because it protects the rope that's in here. I really like this bumper because it keeps the winch line protected. Hardly any sun gets on it, and with regular maintenance, this is the Zeon 10S synthetic line, and we've had no issues with it. It's performed every time I've ever needed it. Hasn't been very many times, but I did take a class for winch recovery, and we put it through its paces and never had any issues with it. So we're really happy with it. We have one on our Medusa Jeep as well. And then we also have on the front some PSC Pro 6 lights. These are the covers. We have amber covers that we can put on them too, and I put these on probably about 3, maybe 4 years ago, and I can honestly say I have never ever used them yet, but hopefully someday we will. I had these hooks powder coated at a place called Screaming Turtle powder coating, because I didn't want people thinking I had a Rubicon, because I don't. So it's kind of an accent color. So now we're going to take a quick look under the hood, and I'm also going to throw up some pictures in the meantime. I have my SPOD switch system, which is fantastic. I have my front and rear lockers wired into it, our onboard air, and our bumper lights. And I know you can't see it, but down there on the firewall there's an ARB, twin ARB compressor. Here's where the air filters come up, and then you have the chuck, so if you want to use it to fill tires or whatever. And then so this whole thing is a Grimm off-road bracket, and it combines the two together, which is cool because when I had the compressor first and then the switch. I had 2 different Grimm off-road brackets, and then they came out with one that consolidated it. Makes it look really nice and clean. I love it. You can see the reservoir for our PSC hydraulic steering. We have the big bore box and all the components to turn these things a lot easier, and our Optima Yellow top battery. And then we also have a NOCO battery tender, and that really comes in handy in the winter because I don't drive her in the winter anymore because there's way too much money underneath to let it get all rusted out. That's pretty much everything under the hood. Okay, so now we're going to go over some of the modifications that we've done in the back of the truck. We used to have a decked system, and as you can see, we've taken that out, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. I didn't use it enough to really justify keeping it. I ended up selling it, and I took an off-road trip recently. That was the first time I really missed it because then I didn't have room to put a bunch of junk. But the good thing is I went lighter than I ever have. I brought a lot less crap because I didn't have anywhere to put it, and I got a lot better gas mileage, and it wasn't quite as heavy going up and down the trail. So I was pretty happy about that. So that's gone, but what's here is this is an aluminum plate made by Snail Armor. It's just black powder coated, goes into the factory holes. There's no drilling or anything. The bed liner was sprayed in from the factory, and then a recent upgrade is this Max tie down Y strap for your spare tire. My buddy Nino has one, and I really liked it. It made a lot of sense to me, so we went ahead and got one. And the good thing is, if I ever don't want to have it back here, I can still put it up underneath because we have a track bar that will allow a 37-inch tire to go up in there. And the last thing that we really have to talk about here in the bed is this TerraFlex bed rail system. It went into all the factory holes, no drilling. And then it has these tie-down points. It comes with 4, and I bought a couple extra. And then you just put it in here, slide them around, tighten it up, tie down all kinds of stuff back there. And I've used this thing so many times. Really comes in handy. I don't leave the tie-down points in there if I'm not using it though, because I don't want to get stolen or start rusting out. Most of it's aluminum, but the fasteners, the heads of them start to get rusty after a while. So that pretty much wraps it up for the bed. So now we're going to talk about the underneath in the rear of the truck. I have the track bar I was talking about earlier is a Clayton off-road adjustable rear track bar. It'll allow you to put a 37-inch tire, and you don't have to air it down. I have the normal PSI for the spare when it's underneath, and it fits just fine. You got a little maneuvering to make sure it goes up there straight, but it goes up there and it stays and it's secure. We have 488 gears. They are Yukon gears. We have ARB differential covers for them. They're nice and beefy. They've taken quite a bunch of abuse, and they're holding up great. The one thing I did do is I painted the ARB because the way that they're manufactured is raw metal, and it was starting to rust, and I didn't like that, so I cleaned it up and put some black paint on there. So kind of stealthy, but I mainly did it to keep it from getting rusty. So now we're going to go ahead and move around to some of the armor and interior features. All right, so as you can see, we have top off and doors off. It kind of made this video a lot easier to record because you can actually see inside with an all black interior. We have best top tube doors, and we really like these. We've had these, hell, for 4 years at least, and they don't get used a whole lot, but they're really nice. You have somewhere to put your arm when you're driving. I'd love to use them when I'm off-roading, but I usually off-road too far away to where I want to have regular doors. And then these are the mirrors that we bought. They're just like the OEM, but we bought them when we bought the doors, and they work out really great. This screen top that we have is a best top. Out of all the best top products I've bought, I am the least satisfied with this one. A lot of the fasteners we had to glue back together. This zip tie here, because of the snap, broke off, and we've only used this top 2 times. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to meet the same quality standards that we came to expect from Best Top, but all the other products of theirs that we've bought have been great. So as you can see, we have some Rock Slide Engineering slides, and they are functional actual rock slide for protection on the trail. And then this is riveted on, and it takes the brunt, and it's steel, almost quarter-inch steel. And then if it were to really get total, you just pop the rivets, put on new pieces. But it protects all the tender stuff, because right there, look at that, you got a step. And it holds a lot of weight. I'm about 250 pounds. No issues there. Every door has its own sensor and button. So depending on who's riding with you and what your needs are, you can either have them open when the door opens or not. And then there's a master switch to kill the whole system. So now we're going to move to the interior. Not a whole lot going on in here. We have a Anvil Overland dash bar that has been absolutely fantastic. I learned about it from Johnny on Gendel Overland, and I have a couple pictures to throw up when it's actually set up for the trail, and it really comes in handy. And that thing is just, it's beautiful. There's so many options for where you can mount things, and depending on the situation. And if you look next to or above the radio, we have our Midland GMRS radio. It's the MXT 500, the 50 watt. And then next to that is our control module for the SPOD. I have the digital display, not the physical tactile buttons. And if you look down on the floor, we have our Husky floor liners and our rock hard 4x4 dead pedal. That is my most recent mod, and the one that I absolutely love the most. The trip that I just took, oh my lord, did I use that thing a lot. And then here in the back we have the Goose Gear plate system seat delete, the 60 and the 40. And I bought some tie down mounts or tie down points on Amazon, and then I got some stainless steel hardware to use to install it. And these things are great, they come in handy. I keep, you know, air up tools, winch controller, you know, tire repair kit, just random stuff. And on the other side I keep things like tie downs and stuff for the bed. And this used to have that little storage cubby from the factory. I didn't like it. I wanted a nice flat surface, so I made this out of plywood and got some I guess bed liner out of a can, and that's been in there for probably 3 years now, and it works out great. And then on the back of the passenger seat, that's another new mod. We got Rhino USA, I call it a crap collector. But we have, you know, our first aid kit, we have our lug nut tools, our, you know, air down tools, some extra grocery bags, like if you need to throw trash away, just something to have stuff easily accessible. So that pretty much wraps up all the modifications, and today we hit 39,000 miles, so we're just barely over 39,000 miles. It's been a lot of off-road miles, but neither one of us drives it as a daily driver, so it keeps the miles low on her, and it's really great. And I guess we should talk about the name, Natasha. So if you're familiar with the Navy construction, it is called the Navy Seabees. And in I want to say the late 40s or early 50s, John Wayne made a movie called The Fighting Seabees. And in that movie they had a bulldozer that in one scene they were attacking the enemy, and they were bringing the dozer in for protection, and the dozer's name was Natasha. So in the Seabee world, Natasha is like kind of a big deal, so I thought it was fitting, since I'm a retired Seabee, to name her Natasha, and it works out really well. Overall satisfaction in the last 5 years, we have absolutely loved this vehicle. A lot of people, you know, not too crazy about the size of it, but it's the only vehicle I've ever off-roaded in my life, so I don't know anything else. I see a lot of the people in the two doors, sometimes I get envious, but this thing goes everywhere I want it to go. It constantly goes where the two doors and the four doors go, and I wouldn't do it any different if I was able to. So I'd say if I had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, probably be a 9. One of the few things about it that I don't like, and I understand for manufacturing purposes, but there's no reason that they couldn't have squared this door off. I understand why they do it on the JLs, because that's where the fender flare would come up, but we have all this room here, and it's just, again, I know it was for manufacturing and tooling and all that stuff, but it would be so nice if you had that extra space in there for loading and unloading in the back. But other than that, that's Natasha, and she's our baby, and we love her to death. We got a trip coming up in October. I turned 50 on the 18th of October, and the following weekend, my buddy Nino, anybody who's familiar with my channel knows who Nino is, the guy with the blue Gladiator, who just got a new set of trail grapplers. Now he's on 40-inch tires, so who knows what we're going to get into. But anyway, we're going out to Wind Rock in Tennessee for 3 days on the trail, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I was supposed to go last year. I wasn't able to make it, so I'm really looking forward to it. So you'll have to make sure you subscribe and stay tuned, because we'll, you know, obviously do some prep videos leading up to it, and then I'll be making all kinds of videos. We're going to try to do a night ride or an evening ride one day when we're up there. I don't know if he's ever off-roaded at night, but I know I haven't, so maybe I can finally put those KC lights to use. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too drawn out, but there's a whole lot going on here, and I know I didn't hit it all, but again, look down in the description. You'll see all the mods that I have listed, and as things change, we have a couple things before our trip that we're going to be taking it to Simpson Family Jeeps in Conneaut, Ohio, and they're going to be doing a couple maintenance checks and then a couple more armor pieces on some of the low-hanging tender bits underneath. So you'll have to stay tuned and see what that's all about. So until next time, take care, and we'll see you again soon.